Durst the worst?
Durst the worst.
Durst the worst.
Durst the worst.
Durst the worst.
Oh, Durst the worst.
Durst is the worst.
Durst the worst.
Durst the worst.
Durst the worst?
Durst the worst.
Durst the worst.
Look at this absolutely revolting shite out of the UK. Oh my goodness. And look at how they frame it. Ex-conservative councillor David Smith found guilty of child sex abuse. Conservative councillor, eh? Looks like a troon activist to me. David Smith has been found guilty of 11 child sex offenses. A former Tory, so a Tory is in the UK. This is what Tories are like in the UK now. Ass backwards, upside down, honk honk, clown world. Former Tory councillor has been found guilty of a string of child sex offenses. A jury has unanimously found David Smith guilty of 11 counts of inciting or engaging in sexual activity with a child over a decade ago. Teesside Crown Court heard harrowing evidence of the sexual abuse during the trial. The two victims were teenage boys when Smith targeted them. One boy was groomed and repeatedly sexually assaulted by Smith over a 4-year period. Oh, how delightful. Aren't we just so glad that we're so inclusive? Wow. That we're not bigot like Nazis and incels. We allow for, you know, this kind of stuff. Because, like, to oppose this in your society, to oppose someone like this having power in your society, I mean, that's just like for incel Nazis, dude, you know. Yeah. Court heard that he had been massively affected by the abuse. His former girlfriend said it had, quote, destroyed their relationship, and he was, quote, traumatized by what had happened to them. The court heard how Smith gave the boy cash and bought him gifts, as well as taking him on trips to Edinburgh and Liverpool. The victim said he used to buy me all sorts. He must have spent £6,000 to £10,000 on me easy. It was clothes, it was drugs. I used to smoke cannabis a lot, and he used to buy me it. He used to buy me it every day, at least $20 a day. After I smoked it, I would just go to sleep, and when I woke up, he would be touching me. Dude, I mean, that's the stuff of nightmares. Like, look at this. Look at this. Like, non-binary kind of just like the stuff of nightmares. This is a demon that wants to rape and eat your children. And like in Western countries, we're giving these types of people positions of influence and power. What the fuck's happening? Smith repeatedly exposed himself to the second victim, who was also a teenage boy at the time, before trying to persuade him to perform a sex act. The victim said he fled, telling the court, quote, he would flash me, and as a kid, I was shocked, and I didn't know where to put myself. After a month and a half, it went from flashing at me to him asking me to touch him. It got to the point where he was getting closer to me and more insistent. Smith, 33, of Rainsford Crescent in Middlesbrough, was remanded in custody and will be sentenced on May 16th. So sentencing happens in a month. But something else that's interesting that this article leaves out is that a couple of years ago, mayor to be quizzed on gender-neutral toilets. Gender-neutral toilets by new conservative councillor. It's so bizarre that we call this conservative or Tory, but that's how England is, I guess. A couple of years ago, yeah, this person, this ostensibly person, Councillor Dave Smith, calling for the town to become gender-neutral and wants all council buildings' toilets to become gender-neutral to start with. So it's only for Nazi bigot incels to notice or to assert that there's any sort of connection between, you know, this, right? Like, there's any sort of connection between, like, this, you know, and this, right? There's no connection whatsoever. The gender-neutral toilet advocacy, and I believe, what was there a quote in here? Conservative member, Councillor Dave Smith, Conservative member for Colby Newham, is calling for Middlesbrough to become a gender-neutral town and is asking the mayor to make a start by designating all council building toilets as gender-neutral. So this person's outreach was just getting around kids, turning your town into a gender-neutral town. And you are a Nazi, bigot, you know, causing hate speech, and you need to be ticketed or arrested. Probably in the UK, you'll be ticketed or arrested if you were to say this. It's probably not too far off in the United States, but that's just, wow. Yeah. Another pedo that's probably going to get a light sentence, while someone who calls out the pedo on Twitter in the UK is probably going to get a bigger sentence. You know, That's the clown world we're living in. Elected officials are going to get slaps on the wrist for grooming kids. And you lose your livelihood and probably get ticketed in the UK for calling out the pedos. But anyway, subscribe, donate, check out my stuff on Spotify. It's cool tunes. They piss off shit libs. But yeah, till next time.